Well, grass cutter is outside. My neighbor's cutting his grass, so it's going to be pretty loud. I ain't closing the windows because a little bit of the heat is coming back as Hurricane Lee is approaching the Bay of Fundy. It's going to hit the coastline, and it's already breaking up now. The eye is breaking up. It's hitting colder waters. Are you as upset as I am? I mean, about the NASA UFO hearing, even though most of you told me, Bruce, I'm not going to say anything. I was still expecting a bit more from Bill Nelson. I was expecting better questions to come in. We didn't see any reporters. There's some guy named James. Hey, Star Hunter. Right on, man. Thanks for being here. So some guy, James calls in from independent media, which I was pretty sure it was like a joke, which I think it was. And they were asking, what media, what's your name? Where are you from? And they brought up the mention of the Mexican Congress that NASA and the US government are calling liars, by the way. Maybe you're going to say, well, that's a bit harsh, Bruce. They didn't come out straight out and call them liars. Well, no, but in a way they did. And it's a shit show. And I was really upset yesterday. And I was thinking of everything NASA knows about the astronauts. So now imagine who is even more mad. Imagine the NASA astronauts that have come out and spoken about UFOs and UAP phenomena. Imagine how mad they are at seeing, Bill Nelson, administrator, who, by the way, I do believe partly Bill could have possibly been trying and still is trying to bring truth out. And the way he said, NASA says there's nothing alien or extraterrestrial. And with his alien face, Bill Nelson, guys, he's an alien, okay? Go look at him. With his alien face, turns around and says, but we don't know what the phenomena is. And he goes, basically, with his alien face, I love the guy, right? Well, I loved the guy because I thought maybe he was going to try to bring something else. So it's all a story of clearance. No mention of David Grush, no mention of non-human extraterrestrial beings, no mention of UFOs that were down, the living extraterrestrials that were found or being kept here in bunkers or whatever on Earth. The government's not going to be able to, NASA's not the government, by the way, even though they're the one with the full powers. The elite government, right? The deep state. How deep does the state go? It goes really deep. It goes really, really, really deep. The suppression of anything and everything UFO related, from the Pentagon, all the three-letter associations, NRO. We got DARPA, Pentagon, the United States government gets caught. Even the Navy obviously gets caught doing secret experimentation with American tax-paying dollars. And yet, nobody's mad. Well, of course, everyone's mad. So is America, right? And so are the people. But what can we do? Well, there's lots that we can do. We boycotted Budweiser. The people have total power. Right now, there's the American auto worker strike, which I'm ecstatic about. I'm very happy about that because I want the system to go down in a way that it's the system themselves that can't furnish us. They run a system, the elites, with us, the people. We are their revenue. They have a number on our birth certificates, okay? We're worth $20,000, all right? We have a number, a value on us. And all the shit that's going on, the changes in the system and stuff like that, the UFO truth is coming out from the inside. So there is an interagency battle, and we are going to see some truth come out. But right now it's the hype of keeping everything hush, hush, hush. What makes me very mad is that these waiting periods, the buggers, the bastards, cause us to go years without knowing anything because they suppress as long as they can. They know that before it gets to Congress, it goes through a shitload of people, most of them Democratic, corrupt people, lefties, that are just pretending and going along with the system and just passing along papers to make people wait 3, 4, 5, 6 months until at one point, eventually, people won't really give a shit anymore, excuse the expression, like Roswell, which there's even talk about Roswell now that could have been German technology, right? During the war, Nazi technology. I do not see anything going on, right? That's the joke. That's the joke. Why do you see Nazi insignia on tanks in the Ukraine? That should have bothered everyone. That very point, just that image in the background, which, by the way, it was an interview that I saw of a Ukrainian soldier, and in the background, I zoomed up on the very far away tank that had the big insignia swastika on it. Why? Right? Because there's a bunch of Nazis there fighting, and they're pretending they're not, right? This goes way back to the war, I believe. Nuremberg, did it ever happen? No, it didn't. The ones guarding the trial of Nuremberg, the first one, the first shit show that happened, were the Nazis, was the SS Germans that were guarding that building. There were not American soldiers, not American authority that were guarding that building, right? It was all done through the Germans, right? Because that's the ideal. I believe somewhere along the line, in theory, the Germans did win the war. They took over America and kept the American flag, which was very smart, freaking smart on top of it. China takes over a country, doing the same thing. China takes over Canada, right? What do? They don't force us to put up Chinese signs or anything. Of course not, because people wouldn't comply, right? But if they believe the people that the orders are coming from their government, of all people, Trudeau, right? What's his name's son, right? From another country, which is totally ridiculous. And they let that continue on. Is it because people don't care? No, it's because people really don't believe the bad things are going on. Bill Nelson was the first to mention, he's NASA administrator, that China's trying to take over the moon and grab the reins, right? Take hold of the reins. But I was like, good. Some people are pushing on the inside, but in reality, they don't push hard enough. It's easy for me to say it. I could say the same thing for me. I'm not pushing hard enough, Bruce. If you pushed a bit harder, tried to reach news media and stuff, I did in 216. Every one of them, from Fox to the corrupt MSNBC and CNN, one down the other, boom, 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 boom. Ever want to talk about something that's on the moon with my large 14-inch telescope? I could explain it all to you right now, and nobody ever bit on it. A lot of MUFON investigators that approach me, and that's normal because Men in Black and MUFON investigators, they're doing the same line of work. They're not characterizing. It's the government that characterizes. But MUFON in August 2021, when I was on the platform of this international televised forum that killed my channel, they were going to present my work, and they didn't present it because they said they ran out of time. And then a year later, the Garpan ufology, luckily he did, inserted back my footage into that international segment and put it up on his channel. A couple hundred views, right? Why do they do that? Because MUFON, they admitted that MUFON gathers information for the government. Everything that is civilian and or amateur ufology or just UFO sightings, they send all those sightings in. They're not going to get a reply back from the government, as I did not, right? But they're still able to gather intel and information and what all the amateurs are capturing in the sky without having to give out any name. I'm happy that I caught the one that came down in the yard because, listen, if it is China, if it is Russia, hopefully the Canadian government or the American government would have seen that I caught that in the yard and they'd be able to do something. It's apparently a national security issue. It could be that some of the things that I've captured and you've all captured is national security issue that they don't want to talk about it. But it can't remain hidden forever because you can't hide an entire civilization on the freaking moon and not think that anyone's going to talk about it if they supposedly are going there, right? Lots of lies that were presented to the people. People like Neil deGrasse Tyson and people like Michio Kaku, who, Avi Loeb, who all these different opinions. Avi Loeb, why doesn't anyone agree with Avi Loeb that aliens exist or extraterrestrial exist? He found some extraterrestrial debris, but they're going to go against what he's saying. Neil deGrasse Tyson should be the one explaining to everyone the exact truth, but instead they're sort of explaining the opposite things. I remember Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about climate change and the water's going to rise, when in reality, I also overheard him talking about buoyancy with icebergs. Icebergs, some of you won't be interested. But all of you that are interested in the lies and the climate change bullshit that they're pushing on everyone, when an interglacial ice age causes a fluctuation of the temperatures to go up 2-3 degrees, even 3.5 degrees, that's exactly what we're looking at, right? The water is not going to disappear, nor is there going to be more water when the icebergs melt. And that disgusts me that I believe that all my life too. Obviously, the water is going to go up. Obviously, when all that friggin' ice is going to melt. Buoyancy. What does buoyancy mean? Buoyancy is the tendency and or ability of an object or being to float inside of some type of fluid or liquid, water, gel, gelatin, whatever you want to call it, some type of fluid, and have buoyancy and float. So the ability to float in liquid is what buoyancy means. And icebergs, the law of physics explains that icebergs stick out 10%. So when you're looking at an iceberg in Antarctica or wherever, right? Iceberg going by, it's big, it's huge, it comes up, it rises up off the surface of the water. In reality, you're seeing 10% because that 10% of buoyancy of that object floating in water remains elevated over the surface. A test, you take a glass of water, fill it with water, and stick ice cubes in it. The ice cubes will float over top of the surface of the glass. And when the ice melts, the volume of water is not the same. It descends less volume when you get the melt. That's why pipes freeze. When water expands, it's because it's freezing and it's expansive and it busts the pipes. But in reality, there's not extra water. It's the buoyancy of it. So, long story short, they say that the melting of the icebergs are going to cause the water levels to rise. I confirm to you that if the science and laws of physics are true from what I studied online just a couple of hours ago, never will the water ever rise. It would descend. Melting icebergs would remain the same level of the water because of that buoyancy. And whatever is extra in the frozen part is going to stick up outwards. And once that melts, it's going to go back to the same volume. It's so stupid that people say, my God, the icebergs, look at them, they're melting. Once that big ass iceberg breaks away, the buoyancy, it's still floating. The extra water is floating out of the bloody ocean. So, and when it melts, the volume will go back to its normal volume size, and the waters will just remain the same. There's not going to be any elevation of any water, especially not around the world and in all the oceans. That's a bullshit lie that the waters are going to rise here on Earth. Oh, maddening, everything, Geronimo. I'm trying, all together we're learning a whole bunch of stuff, just a bunch of bull crap that they're shooting out there and the bullshit that they're telling us. Darla, Jules, Dominic, Damien, Star Hunter, Sophie, thanks for being here. Good afternoon to you too. Thanks a lot. Keith Oliver, back in the house. How's it going, man? 100% right. Yes, they are full of shit, the liars. They are. I mean, I do believe, and it's sad because you could think that Bill Nelson he looks mad. He sort of looks mad, like, he wants to bring stuff out. When somebody asked a question about the Mexican Congress aliens, go back and look at Bill Nelson's face. He's far away, and you could see his awesome alien face. I love the guy. He just looks like a very unique person. And yeah, that's just me. The guy looks like an alien, guys. He literally looks like an alien. And, notice the people that are talking about the alien UFO story. Some of them look like an alien. We got Paulina Luna with the name like Luna. I mean, it's just getting a bit ridiculous, I guess. I don't know. I'm finding this to get a little bit silly. At one point, we're told to shut the hell up, and they follow orders. It's exactly what I believe happened. And they put a woman there. That's the one again from I wake up loving you. Those were the days. Archie Bunker woman that's there. I always call her. It makes me laugh. I think they're going to choose the women to be in charge of all these things so that people can't really pounce on them, have to be delicate with them. Okay, everyone, we're going to the other questions. Did you hear the way she was talking? It's like some grandmother they put up there. We're going to be taking questions from the internet. They mentioned 75,000 times that it's so incredible that the transparency that NASA is now going to have. Bill Nelson repeats himself after a question when they ask about the aliens, in Congress. He goes, "You're going to your convecture. It's just bullshit." He didn't say anything. He repeated himself. I said that we did not find anything alien or extraterrestrial. And he says, but we don't know what it is. And he just sits there smiling. It made me so mad. Made me so mad to see the embarrassing, people of NASA talking about this subject when they didn't mention David Grush. They didn't mention the non-extraterrestrial humans. They didn't mention things like in Los Angeles, 7-foot, 10-foot, 12-foot aliens, the ones that happen in Peru that are abducting little girls and they have lights on their boots and they're floating up like in the movie, what's his name, Iron Man sort of thing. I mean, people ask me, what do I think of it? Well, I think it's super interesting and really cool to hear some crazy shit like that happen on television, but I don't have an opinion on whether it's real or not because we have no proof or confirmation. But I said to myself, if there are aliens in those red boots, at one point, there's going to be a lot of us that are going to start making videos about saying, hey, do you see those guys in red boots flying around? Right? If it's just a false or fake alien invasion, which I have no idea what that would be useful for. By this point, we've been talking about it for over 50 years, that everyone's expecting a false alien flag event. Well, what I'm afraid is that there's going to be a real event in theory, and that people are going to turn around and look at these extraterrestrials that are teleporting back into our dimension of the physical world, and we look up at them and say, there's China or Space Force just flying around. Stephen Greer says probably 75%, if not 80%, 70-80% of the UFOs that we're seeing are probably secret project governmental vehicles, but they're not all governmental vehicles. And that's the scary part. It really is. It's just something very scary, Jose in the house. Deep state won't budge. They won't, but they're going to have to with the interagency battle on the inside. So what we're going to see is many companies fail, companies closing down. We're going to see people strike. We're going to see new laws and statutes and statures that are going to be created both by the Republicans and the Democrats as they're just sitting there fighting for themselves. I don't get what's going on. Americans lost America a long time ago. Like the US died a long time ago, but the American people are still American people. And they see everything going on. Get ready now. The immigrants, well, they're turning on Biden. Mexicans are going to go back to Mexico. First of all, the shit going on in the States doesn't happen in Mexico. You think the cartel's bad? Oh, boy. Wait till you meet the Biden administration. What a bunch of thugs, right? And also that committee that was organized for NASA, you could be sure it's a Democratic committee, right? Bill Nelson must be pissed if he really did want to push the truth out. I feel in ways that he did. He did want to bring that truth out, honestly, because he wouldn't have mentioned, China trying to take over the moon. He wouldn't have mentioned things like that. It's, the same way David Grush wouldn't have mentioned non-human extraterrestrial beings. They said they exist. They said aliens exist. I believe they do. And now maybe we'll never get the proof of it, but I'll tell you what, I believe more David Grush than I do, the Biden administration. That's for freaking sure. 100%. It was funny. Nobody asked. Yeah, it was maddening, man. And James or whatever that guy, the guy's name was from Independent Media came in to ask a question. He asked about the Mexican Congress. I was like, yes. And again, Bill Nelson, go back to when they asked that question, guys. Bill Nelson has a smile from corner to corner of his mouth all the way up to his eyebrows when they ask that question. I'm pretty sure that he knows the truth is going to come out or that the shit's going on the inside. And these guys just have to sit there and they look stupid, mocked and ridiculed. Bill Nelson was mocked and ridiculed for him to have had to sit there and go through what he went through saying that, and just, bull crap. If they had only top secret information about UAP, they are not talking about. It was funny. Nobody asked if they had any top secret. Exactly. And Bill Nelson says, don't forget, we're not going to go back and talk about any old events and stuff like that. Of course not. They want to advance through that and hide everything that's truthful about those projects. When I watch them all there talking about it, and by the way, Bill Nelson says that NASA 100,000% going to be transparent. Everything is going to be free, downloaded online for everyone to have access to it. This is what NASA is saying, by the way. Okay. So if that's so, you're going to, the first thing that should come out of Bill Nelson's mouth is that there's going to be a big hearing. This could be coming, guys. I'm going to flip if it does. And when it does, a big conference and hearing to tell the truth about what happened in 1969 with the Apollo 11 mission. It's going to happen when the last astronaut dies, the one that just got married recently. Lived a good life, didn't he? Biggest liar on the planet. He was paid to lie. Couldn't have turned around afterwards and tell us that there were people up there on the moon, but he actually did many times on the Conan O'Brien show, a couple of times. You guys did not see anything. The public did not see anything that happened on the mission, and they didn't even confirm that landed, honestly. So big joke. But in reality, that's all deliberate for people like you and I that are awake to know that, hey, well, there we go. We have our proof. So we do have our proof. The bottom of the deep state ends and begins with the Reich. Yep, it's what I believe. It is 100,000% what I believe. Okay. That's why a lot of people from Germany and even the Germans, the US hid the freaking Germans. Okay. Lots of them were in Argentina. You guys all know the story about Hitler having died and lived a long life in Argentina or Brazil, those areas, because that's where they were hiding, all the Nazis afterwards. And then progressively through the years, people started hitting on them, like really trying to get these Nazis killed and arrested and tried on trials, which is even sadder, even more sad to see a 96-year-old Nazi going to jail where they say that you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail at 96 freaking years old. Okay. Wow. What a joke. They were able to, kill off millions of people. And you'd be sure during the war, nobody knew what happened. When they found the concentration camps, it was that day only that they found out that they were killing everyone. But somebody did know all that ahead of time, right? The deep state. The NASA thing was a waste of time, oxygen, and money. Yes, especially our oxygen and especially the money, because it just so happens they're forming a new team, a new force to work on UAP retrieval documentation. Oh, good Lord. Seriously, who's going to pay for that? Who's going to be on the committee, which, by the way, they didn't name? Well, it's going to be Bruce Swartz. I'm putting myself in charge of the UAP committee, and I will be doing the briefings here directly from the live stream. Fuck NASA briefings, which is totally ridiculous. Until they tell the truth, no one's going to believe them. Imagine how embarrassing it is to be an astronaut but not go to space. How embarrassing that would be. And for those that have family members that say went to space and get offended, don't, because I'm not going to be offended if you're offended. If you went to space, if they went to space, they went around Earth. Around the world, around the world. They didn't leave our world. Neither is ISS space station outside of our world. From the ISS space station, you don't see space. It's blue skies, because only a couple hundred kilometers over Earth, because that's, all planets are stuck in a firmament, basically, whether it's because of God or not. It's a fact, a scientific fact, I think. That's why I always say God was a scientist. Rod R, how's it going? Yep. Right on, Jose. We the people need to elect new lawmakers. It's exactly what everyone has to do. Wait till the other countries give their opinions on what's going on. Mexico did. Now, the Mexican Congress was labeled as fake and false right off the bat. Yet they're the only ones showing non-mummies, by the way. You want to get mad? NASA confirms that Mexico Congress showed mummies. Go to the Mexican Congress when they showed it. In brackets underneath, almost with Star Wars, with fireworks around it and arrows pointing to this phrase in brackets. They said at the Congress, these beings are complete and they are not mummies. So when I saw NASA declare that they were mummies, I call bullshit, lying skanks. I'm telling you, NASA, you're a bunch of thugs. Those of you that work for NASA, I feel sorry for you because you probably do want to go to space, but you ain't going to. And you ain't going to go to the moon either, I guarantee you. Because if you go to the moon, you have to explain to your kids, your dog, and your wife, or your husbands, exactly what's on the moon. And you're going to have a hard time hiding that from your better half, your loved one, right? You're going to hide from your children, you astronauts, that there's secret projects and that they're abducting children and bringing them to the moon or experimenting on making new beings with human DNA. I think it's pretty sickening what they're doing. And we have buildings here on Earth that are underground and doing nefarious things, hiding ballistic missiles, whatnot. We got the CERN underground, which, by the way, they lied about the number of atoms that they're smashing because I went back to an old video. It's not 700,000 times per second. It's 600 million photons, literally subatomic particles that are smashing in each other, traveling at 99.999999% of the speed of light. And they're recording everything that is created, all the new elements that have never been seen in this universe, and they're creating that inside of the physical world. And people are like, there's no danger. Ooh. That's weird. It's weird. It really is weird. I know a lot's going to come out of this. David Grush is going to get his day. And no way in hell are they going to say that he's a liar. Because what's happening now is that seeing David Grush on YouTube with regular YouTubers, I love it. And, seeing actors that quit Hollywood and that open channels on YouTube to talk against the deep state, I love it. We just recently saw this all happening. And we're going to see a lot more happening. We know the actors. I could name a whole shitload of them, right? Gibson, Mel, Jim Carrey. What happens to them? Why do they all turn? And why do people start talking against them, saying that, Jim Carrey's talking about tetrahedrons and that we're just tetrahedrons floating around the universe, that there's nothing realistic. We're just living in a delusional matrix and stuff. He's partly right. But people turn it around and say, well, he's losing his mind, unfortunately. After he did the Truman Show, he's losing his mind. No, I think he's maybe waking up to the reality that Jim Carrey is not him. Jim Carrey said it himself. I'm not a funny person. They made him up. The elites made him up. When you see Diane Sawyer, now I'm going back, Diane Sawyer, back in the days, 60s, 70s, blonde woman, and the hair they take. Did you notice since Diane Sawyer and, bad example, everyone that talks, Barbara Walters, okay, it's all people that have the same style, same look, same presentation that the elites, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, 2010, 2020, and for 2030 are just updating the models. They all look the same. They're all doing the same things. They're saying the same bullshit out there. Look at The View. What the hell is wrong with the ladies on The View? I actually am a man, and back in the days, it used to be actually a little pleasant listening to those ladies talk about the world, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden, they signed up for the Biden administration and just start putting Trump down. They look like a bunch of freaking assholes, especially Whoopi Goldberg and that goon with the red head and the big mouth that they're just spewing out shit every time they talk. How many actors and actresses have you stopped watching since 2019? There's a whole shitload of them. All of them. I've barred every one of them, forcing people that are not V'd to go get V'd. That's horrible. So, that is disgusting. Lies about that and everything. We can't even talk about it yet on top of that. Nenya Beeswax, love the name. Greetings from Central Texas. Thank you very much. Mark, thanks for coming in, you guys. Please insert a multi-language translation. Harpoon, harpoon. I have it. I have it in. A lot of people have been wondering what happened. 3 days ago, they took off all transcripts and all translations on my videos so people cannot see or understand in Spanish language or whatever language you have. I am so sorry, Harpoon, Harpoon. I do have all of that activated. Everyone, all the languages are there from Hungarian all the way to Indian languages. You know, you can click on it to be able to hear what I'm saying. And I got 16 comments yesterday from people saying, please put up translations. People from my French channel came on my English videos and said, put back up your translations. I never took them off, guys. It's a scandal. They're trying to close my channel down. Okay, maybe many other channels down, but I'm not worried about other channels. I'm worried about mine and the truth here that they're trying to suppress and stop. 400 subs this month, they say. Where are they? Still 97.9. So we went from 97.9 up to 98,000. Very happy for that. Now 98.1. So that's 150 subs. And is it going to stay there or go back down to 97 at the end of the month? We've been there since February. And that's proof that they are hiding this channel. And why? Not because I'm a genius, because well, maybe, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's because I showed proof of living organisms or lights that are moving around on the moon. And that is the biggest secret in the entire universe. I bet you it's even partly a secret on Mars. Imagine how huge this secret can be. It's so huge that they can't even kill me because it would look so bad. They say, great, Bruce, oh, they killed him. They try to kill you naturally. Natural forces. They're so advanced, the deep state, that I would die by a house fire. I'm not going to die by somebody coming and shooting me. It's all natural causes. Look at all Kennedy's family who died of a whole bunch of weird accidents, swimming accidents in other countries and whatnot. It's sad. It's because it's just easy for them to do the hits and just kill off these people. Italia. Wow. Bellissimo. Thank you very much. My English is not good. Harpoon, thank you so much. Grazie. I'm telling you, I did put up the transcripts and the translation is working. I'm sorry if it doesn't work for you. It's a glitch. The elites, elitists are the ones doing that. I'm so sorry, Harpoon. I will try to fix the problem. Thanks for letting me know that. Italy in the house. Thanks, you guys, for listening. Kai, thank you so much for being here. Manio, honestly, no one is surprised. They didn't find evidence. They will never give up that information unless they can use it or as an advantage. Yeah, I hear you, Manio. They're never going to bring it out, but it's going to be leaked out by a massive leak like WikiLeaks. Prepare yourselves because I know it. That's how it's going to come out. It is going to come out from the inside. They're going to throw it all out. They're going to send the information to Russia or China. Then Russia and China are going to grab that information, translate it back, fill it all over the internet in English, presented by an American website, and it's going to be leaked out. They've leaked out surface of the moon images, which they never, people probably would have believed that they never could have. The truth is going to come out from the inside because people are not going to permit the moon. The moon is freaking inhabited. There's no two ways about it. They can't hide that. And more I'm going to see shit on that moon. As hard as it is to be able to see and show them clearly. People didn't want to see smidgens, unfortunately, because that's all it would have taken to prove that there was someone up there. People want to see, objects on the surface of the moon on a golden platter. When freaking India and their bullshit images that they're showing of NASA, of the surface, of the moon, by the way, which were presented hours ago, are all blurry as hell. I'm able to show it less blurry than they're showing it. Why? It's not because I'm better than them. We know that. That would be ridiculous, thinking that Bruce, an amateur, right, is going to show stuff better than NASA. It's because NASA's not lingering on the filtering and the different frequencies on how to see things yet. They're doing it with James Webb. Hubble telescope alone had over 300 filters and frequencies. Not 300 frequencies, but 300 filters to see various frequencies and different frequencies. They're looking at the sun differently now. They're able to see different phenomena. This is weeks old, this information. They're able to see phenomena happening on the sun that they did not see before. How come without a filter, a sun filter, I can see sunspots on the sun? Because I'm filtering it myself through the clouds and using the exposure and aperture of a camera, quite simply, to be able to see different spots on the sun. That's what I did with the stars at the beginning in 216 to 218 and 217 and 218. I have hundreds of images of stars that I took of the constellations that are the exact same images as NASA shows in space. That's when I first was able to confirm, well, I'll be damned. At least the space images they're showing are real. I didn't think it was that beautiful space. Didn't think we could see that. Long exposure camera with a 1000 millimeter camera. I got the Andromeda galaxy. Like, hello. Oh, you can't see colors in space. People were yelling at me. You can't see colors in space. You couldn't have gotten that. When you see all the bloody colors in Andromeda and the galaxies and the different colors around the stars and stuff, space isn't dark either. It's very bright. Okay. You know, bullshit lies that they're telling everyone. It gets me mad. Space is not dark. Space is not cold either. You know, so are the craters in the depths where they say that the water is hiding where the sun doesn't shine, right? I'll say like Neil deGrasse Tyson said as he was laughing about that. Water, right? Water on the moon. Why would they be going to look for water on the moon? I'll tell you why. NASA, Bill Nelson admitted yesterday, NASA is in charge. We are in charge of finding and looking for life on other planets, looking for life of all sizes, microbial life, bacteria, no matter what the type of life, but they're also looking for beings, you know, intelligent beings also. So if they go to the moon and they're going to the South Pole because they say they're going to look for water, could they not be also going to look for life where there's water on the moon? Because life found on all planets brings life. Okay. There's life on all the planets where there's water, microbial life, no matter how big they are. But that's what I believe they're going to do. Sorry for the grass cutting. Maybe you can't hear it. I'd be surprised. It usually cuts out the noises very well, but anyways, my faith in God is unwavering, but that doesn't mean you never created only intelligent beings, right? Somewhere else, the trillion, you said it, upon trillions of planets, it's a mathematical impossibility. And you just repeated exactly what a very important astrophysicist just mentioned hours ago. Well, I saw it hours ago. And that's exactly what they're saying. There are trillions of planets mathematically. Even Bill Nelson was talking about it. Yes, Nelson, actually, I'm sorry. Neil deGrasse mentioned that too, but so did Bill Nelson. Trillions of planets out there that have water on it. By the way, not just trillions of planets in the universe, trillions that have life on it. So how can we be the only ones? And he said that with a smirk on his face too. Sorry for the grass noise, guys. That is pretty loud. Playing hooky from the homeschooling today. Hey, bad grandma. No. Grandma's allowed a little break. Absolutely. Naughty grandma. Jules, thanks for coming by. Thanks for being here, Jules, and Rocky at the streams, you guys. I really appreciate that. And everyone else that we're there only tell us. Yeah, exactly. And we're not. Mix ma'am. ETs of all the known universe. Love and light from the UK. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And I'll scroll all the way down, which I regret doing. Hey, Bruce is scrolling down this time for real. Tim King. Saz Bubble Boy, we are. Yep. Probably. They hedge their bets and play both sides of the chessboard. Hey, see, that is, wow. That's well said. Literally, government declaring to expose themselves with non-human extraterrestrial life. Then they start and they get a committee of bullshit leftist Democrat idiots that, and they are, everybody knows that, sit down there and say, no extraterrestrials were ever found here. They ask Mike Pence, sorry for talking about him, of all people, what do you think of aliens? Very recently. And he says, all I know is that I went to Area 51 and all the people that were there were all from around here. I had a good laugh about it too. Gabber Beast TV, how's it going, man? Says NASA stands for not a space agency. I tell you, NASA stands for not a secret anymore. That's what NASA stands for. Not a secret anymore. Not a serious association also, Numbskulls all secretly associating. NASA. Yeah, you said it, Carolyn. Screw them. Has nothing to do with the astronauts there. I would have loved to have been an astronaut. Wow. I mean, imagine. But unfortunately, the ones running the show, they're the shitheads. Good morning, Bruce. Much love and respect from us in New Zealand. 5:26 a.m. Good morning. Good morning. Evelyn Saba. Appreciate it. Love you very much, my dear friend from New Zealand. And I proudly made to your channel. You make our days. Bless you. XOXO back. Evelyn Saba, I love you very much. Thank you so much, my amazing friends. Who's going to pay for that but send billions to corrupt Ukraine? Exactly. Canadians are paying for it. We sent millions. Americans will pay for it big time. Send billions of dollars. No problem. We all heard Biden literally say, open checkbook. They just left the checkbook from his account. And I'm not talking about the account that he has with China Spy and Hunter. Oh, no. That's not the same account. Not the same account. But Xi Jinping was really nice and kind to send money to Biden's granddaughter, of all people. Wonder what the hell they did. Because China totally loves America, right? Thanks, Evelyn. I'm a little pissed. I think I'm a little pissed with the bullshit that we heard. The only movie I have gone to see in the last 5 years, Sound of Freedom. All podcasts, all true, all time, all the time. Otherwise, same here, CPEM. Always on podcasts and looking up information. To other services, YouTube is doomed. Retro Arc. I actually suggest, and I feel that it could be, YouTube's never going down, my friend. That's the CIA source, like Facebook. Meta probably won't go down. Rumble will go down. The other ones are definitely going to go down. That's for sure. I feel the government needs the internet and electricity to follow us. The day there's a blackout in this world, I know now it will never happen, because if they black us out, they'll never be able to know where we are. When the lights go out, some of us will disappear, including me. That's what's going to happen. When the lights go out, I ain't sticking around. I'm going back to the freaking moon. Be honest with you. That's where I'm going back. Might even take us back there. Right on, Evelyn. We love you. Thanks, Darla. That's how it is. Still cutting the grass. 145. Go against the narrative. Absolutely, Dominic. Look at me making a face at my poor neighbor when he's cutting his grass. I have to. People cut their grasses too often. That's what I feel. Let the grass get long. Let those insects have time to pick up what's in the grass. But then you'll just look like a poor guy that doesn't want to cut his grass, but hey, can't win. Right on, right you are. Yes. Mucho gusto. Carolyn, muchas gracias por venir a mi canal de investigación. Bienvenidos a todos. Brazil in the house. Right on, RetroArch. Thanks for leaving your opinions, my friend. Be a very sad day for me if YouTube went down. It can happen. NASA reports like this are not only laughable, they are a bad joke that should be ignored at all times. Spidey vids. Well said. Thank you very much. Grip Ripper, thanks for being here, man. Lakeside Laura. I want to scroll down and see what everyone's saying. See how many people are here. Well, of course, we're 96. We use the actual horse. Hey, is Beth? No, yes, in the house. Thank you, Beth, for being here. Hello. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming by and for making this channel what it is. Absolutely amazing. I was reported to the city for letting my grass get too tall, get a letter to comply or go to court. Unfreaking real. Sorry about that, graphics nut, but yeah, that's how it is. Cosa Nostra. China's almost bankrupt. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I know that from watching China Uncensored. You guys want a good channel with some inside information coming out about China? I go to China Uncensored. And for those that don't like the channel, sorry. Like I said, to take it with a grain of salt. They're not right about everything. But, of course. Yep. That's what we found out 3 years ago, Beth, but sadly, people didn't want to realize that. Now, I'm not even allowed talking about it. Nice to see that some of you brought it up, though. Yep. Nice to see you, Beth, as always. Is it just me, or does everyone feel there is massive change coming and soon? I do, Evelyn. I feel the change in the air. How could I say? If I was to reference a song, I'd say, I can feel it coming in the air of the night. Hold on. Hold on. And then the music starts. That's where we are. That's exactly where we are. Also, like Kai says, shit hit the fan. Shit hit the fan years ago, but the shit was so bloody sticky. It's just dragging itself to the end of the blade. Sorry for the visual expression, but yeah, that's what's going on. Saw a bunch of bikers the other day coming off the bridge in Valleyfield. They were really, really coming in. And there were some friends on the other corner that I didn't want them to encounter to get tickets. All you do when the biker sees you, they know it right away. There you go. Finish. 150 bikers, slow down. I love it. I do RetroArch. I have a Rumble channel. And you know what? I'm going to have to start really thumping them on the Rumble channel. I opened the Rumble channel, but I got hacked on the Rumble channel. And I can confirm to you all that, how could I say this? Rumble sucks the bag. I can't answer comments. I'm limited in the number of comments that I answer every 5 minutes. You can't even answer the whole comments that are there on the video. You got to wait because you'll get a notification that you're harassing your community. People said, go on Rumble. We can talk freely about a whole bunch of things. I put up a video about Bill Gates and got it taken down. Talk about bullshit on Rumble. For me, it wasn't good. It works bad. You have a hard time blocking people and stuff. Or for me, it was no good at all. If I had a lot of people coming to the channel here, I would go all out. I was on Facebook. I was on Twitter before. I mean, I had all those sites going. It was just harassment. And I didn't mind the harassment, but getting the channels actually taken down, Facebook taken over by someone where imagine being a good enough hacker to take over someone's channel. And when you take it over, just putting up images of me. It was images of me on my Facebook where you'd see Bruce posted an image of himself and it said, and then you see, I said, I'm fucking fat. And that's all the hackers did on my Facebook channel. Imagine. So you got little hackers, not government hackers, little hackers that have other space channels that hire other little goons to keep their other space channels going when in reality, they're not ever going to be in in television, not going to get to the news. Hell, I'm not going to get to the news. But in reality, I did. I went over that. MUFON got interested. Garpan ufology and other ufology associations have reached me. It's just that their protocols for me piss me off. I don't feel bad about not having original videos, and my original videos are going to stay in my friggin' house. They're not going to leave here. I know they're on the moon. I've showed some of my original videos and footage to people. They grabbed that footage and turned around and said it was fake. So never again, you guys get to see what I post on YouTube. And they're a lot clearer here, my guys, my friends. I assure you. Just ask the cable guy that came the other day. Cable guy came here. Every time the cable guy in my town comes here, I sit down, I either play a little song for him or I show him the UFOs on the moon without any pixelation. I'd have to show Elias either. I don't think I showed Elias Valhalla the original videos here because they're not at all what I'm showing on YouTube. It's freaking clear. You can see a lot more stuff in my videos here, but the truth is going to come out, and it's not going to be the government that's going to leak it out. It's going to be an interagency battle. Think of it. China is going to bring out the truth in the States. The States are going to bring out the truth in China because they're always fighting. China is the one that reports everything Russia does. Russia is going to be the one that reports everything the Americans do. It's always been. Russia, by the way, just sent 3 Russian astronauts to the ISS space station, even though they're in a war together. So there's no war. It's just a war to look like a war, right? They're testing out their new devices and bigger ammunition. That's what they're doing. They're testing out the will and power and might of the ignorant people that left Canada as a soldier to go fight in the Ukraine war. Don't feel bad if you don't come back. For me, I'm shooting that out there. I think you're all a bunch of shitheads. Everyone doing that. Idiots. Become a soldier and fight for your country. Well, if you're a soldier, you're going to tell me no soldiers fight for their country. All soldiers go elsewhere. And that's how it is. It's true. I've given my opinion. Anybody want some coffee? He's still cutting his grass. Come and knock on my door. I've been waiting for you. Yep. All of my life, I've had the Three's Company song remain in my head and the Archie Bunker song. Ask me why. Was it subliminal, you think? That I wake up in the morning in the year 2023 and come and knock on my door. Yeah. Bruce is losing it. All the longer grass, the more oxygen. Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, Dave, Buongiorno, not Buongiorno. Bruce, you done that. Buongiorno. Thank you very much for being here. And they say that the trees counts for 1% of the oxygen on Earth. In reality, there's one thing that we can't get rid of is that water. That's definitely something that is keeping us alive. The water. I believe it's Star Hunter. I believe it. There's also Joe Rogan. I'd spoken about that at one point. Remember how they tried to discredit that and laugh at people? Remember what the leftists were saying? People, you are not a horse. Remember that one? Make people feel ridiculous. You know? Ridiculous. Yep. Nobody talking about the China nuclear sub blowing up in the South China Sea. Told you, China makes junk. Yep. Makes junk in space, makes junk in the oceans. Yes, that's exactly what they did. Yeah. Why wouldn't they talk about that? Probably Costa Nostra, the same reason they're not talking about Fukushima dumping all their water over a 30-year period, dumping 100 million tons of toxic nuclear water from the reactors that are held in cylinders, right? Which obviously seeping into the ground too. It's a shit show joke. And now they're saying, oh, there's no danger about the nuclear water. It's not nuclear at all. We can dump it into the ocean. The reason why we kept it there for like 50 years or whatever, how long that they kept it there was just because, we needed money, I guess, in reality. Desalination of the ocean. Do you know that it's more expensive to desalinate the oceans than to bottle water from Fiji and send it like some of you buy, $5-10 a bottle? It would cost even more to desalinate the ocean. So the problem with our system is the cost of things. They didn't get away with it. You raise costs and shit of stuff on one side, what's going to eventually happen is that you're going to be paying $30 for an egg, right? Canada, one of the most expensive countries to live in now, my friends. Did you know that? Houses, over about $1 million to get a house now in Canada. It's shifting. It's getting worse than in the States. What's happening here in Canada? And of course, they're hiding it. They say, we get healthcare. We pay the same thing as you guys in the States pay for healthcare. Did you know that? But they say it's free. It's free here in Canada. Free Canadian healthcare. It's not free. Ask somebody how much they pay for their pills when they go to the store, but the pharmacy to pick up their prescription. Oh, well, in reality, it's costing me $800, but it would have cost me $15,000 if it wasn't free. Okay. Free country, they say. It's a free country for you if you're an immigrant, because then be careful. You have more options as an immigrant in Canada than being Canadian. But once you come in as an immigrant and start installing yourself as a Canadian, you lose all those benefits. Just gone down the drain. All that because Trudeau wants you to vote for him. Well, the immigrants that are coming in all around the world into the States daily, hourly, nightly, are going to be heading back to their own countries when they see how corrupt the States is. And when they catch on to the fact that they're being let in to get the votes from them, the Biden's going to get votes from them. Biden's going to take votes. Doesn't need their votes. Is voting? What do you mean voting? Voting doesn't exist. It's not like they actually use the real numbers. Voting, right? Yeah. Well said. Exactly. Devlin Hartman, thank you very much. How long is the pantomime going to be on for? I have no idea. My friend. Crazy. Excuse me. Rumble is messing with my channel line up for sure. Yeah, Carolyn. I'm happy some people are able to go over to Rumble. Wait a minute. I duct tape my bench and it's still going down. Really? I'm getting sick of it. I'm sick of my damn bench, guys. I have to sit on the floor with my legs extended. This is abuse. Yeah, this is pissing me off. That's all it takes for me. I don't get mad at the trolls. I get mad when my seat starts going down. It's the most annoying freaking thing. And now I just duct taped it all with about 1,500 rolls going around it. So basically, duct tape can't hold my ass up, but it can hold cars together. I'm a little worried about that. Expecting some type of action as early as tomorrow. You watch what's going to happen, boy. It's going to be bad. Yep, they're working there too. You know, they are scumbags, RetroArch. The whole system is. Yeah, InfoWars got shit too. I mean, when I go to InfoWars, Canadians are being blocked from seeing their videos. So most of their posts are always blocked when I go there. You can't get into the videos and stuff. And he doesn't even know that probably. Using web browsers and old phones. Well said. Well said. Yeah, you said it. Big snood. Exactly. Castro's son has not left yet, unfortunately. He was stuck in India. I was hoping that he was going to stay stuck in India, but unfortunately, they sent the bullshitter back and came back and started doing shit right away, actually. He's doing more stuff out there. Right on, Evelyn. Yep. Saladona, salut à toi. Je ne parle pas anglais, mais je passe te mettre un pouce. Et ça, mon ami, je te remercie vraiment beaucoup. J'espère que vous êtes au courant aussi de ma chaîne française, OVNI Québec Astronomie. S'il vous plaît, prends le temps d'aller voir aussi la chaîne si vous êtes intéressé. Vous pouvez même vous abonner si vous voulez supporter la chaîne. Thank you very much. Thumbs up for my French friend. He goes, even if I don't understand what you're saying. Thank you very much. Shit is hitting the fan. Money not worth anything. They're doing the money grab on the land grab. Yep. Only thing left, throw people in a war. Of course, to be able to have more power, they need to have that war to be able to implement martial law, to get more funding, to have access. I mean, hospitals have access to more power and money and authority. That's a scary part. You know, I know all about what they're doing. We can't talk about it on YouTube. I know all about what they're doing. Salat, Darla. Right on, Evelyn. You said it, sister. You said it. Sherry in the house. Rumble's totally messed up my feed also. I have problems with it. I mean, hey, I'm not mad at people for being on Rumble. I mean, awesome. Jacques Beyond Mystics on Rumble. He goes and gets thousands of people, which thousands of people saw our interview. I would expect a couple of people to stop by the channel. Would have been awesome, but some did. I got about 150 subscribers, even though they say I got 400 subscribers. A little concerning, wondering where the hell is everyone. But Rumble, I had a lot of problems when I went to Rumble, and say hello. 3 is company 2. They got, don't stick it in my head, please. Silolo. The reservists in Israel, I was hearing about them yesterday too, told BBS to go pound salt. They won't fight for him. That's big. It is. It absolutely is. I heard it myself. So like Kai says, shit's has hit the fan, and now it's going to fling off of the fan. It's starting to stink in the air, right? Thank you so much, Evelyn Saba. Love you, Evelyn. Yeah, absolutely, Jules. You know it. Preppers. It's time. All the people laughing at preppers, it's time now to stop laughing and to be prepared yourselves. As silly as saying, it's not silly. You go to the grocery store, and even if you can't buy 10 bags of rice, which I'm sure you probably can't, it's impossible to buy 10 bags of rice. It was during the COVID. Go get one every 3 weeks to a month. Fill like 10 bags of rice. That's all. The 10 bags of rice. Get yourself a brick of hamburger meat. Kill yourself a cow if you have to. You know, not in a vicious way, just legally, because we eat cows. And it's going to save your life. You know, people aren't prepared. The water, thinking of that ahead of time, right? Some of us are going to be stuck for a couple of days, you know, when shit hits the fan and everything does go dark. Cricket paste on toast. Yeah, I bet you the cricket paste. You can be sure. Listen, I used to like Cheese Whiz a lot. Could only imagine what they're grounding up, all the shits and assholes that they're putting in there. I could only imagine what they're grounding up. How do we hide the asshole rims? Well, make it watery, and then gluteny or whatever. You know, just make it orange color, the same way they put the orange salt in the Kraft dinner. In reality, it's a big pile of salt that you're putting on noodles to freaking eat. Janelle Marie, thank you very much. Aliens are real. They're demons in disguise. Thanks for leaving your opinion. Quite a few people here that come here believe that they're aliens in disguise. Janelle, or some of you, do you believe that? So basically, some of you might think that it's impossible for a human being to interact with a positive spiritual angel or being. For me, that's impossible. That's like saying that the trillions of planets hold no life on them for me. But Janelle, you're not alone. There's a lot of people that think exactly like you think. My brother believes partly they could be demons that we're seeing on the moon, right? I think I have decompression syndrome. Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah, Jack the Tripper. Well said. And Chrissy, remember Chrissy? If there was a war with ETs, nobody would be here to talk about it. Dave, buongiorno. Exactly. The same thing as somebody says, like with the fact that aliens would not be here to take over Earth, because if they created us, I mean, we can create our own water, guys. Precipitation in a room. I don't think aliens would come and steal our water. I don't think they're going to come here, you know. Do they come here to test us? Possibly. That's what we're doing on other planets ourselves, going to test other planets. What are we going to do when we see a planet has beings on it? We're going to start spying on them. We're going to send lights around the planets. Isn't that what's happening here? Lights that we're seeing around the planet, right? But I don't give a crap if they say that government could be flying around with lights. They'll get caught, guys. If it's the government, China would have exposed the US, and the US, vice versa, would have exposed China or Russia. Same reason why David Grush would not have risked losing his job after his retirement to come out and speak up about the truth on the non-extraterrestrial beings and UFO crafts. Because, by the way, they have a shitload quantity of spacecraft. David Grush didn't say a shitload. He said a lot. Okay? So there's a lot of UFO craft out there. But the UFO craft that's out there is not the exact UFO craft that are made to believe, the people were made to believe are craft. Now, when you mix in teleportation, time traveling, and quasi-projection, 50% of the people that were interested in UFOs are going to leave. They're going to be like, that's too much. Teleportation and all that. I'm interested in knowing the truth. So I'll take it with a grain of salt when they say that they're quasi-projecting themselves, or when somebody, an astrophysicist or intelligent, supposedly intelligent person says that it's people traveling through time, it's us coming back to let us know what we did wrong, and that it's gray aliens coming here because that's really us in the future. Why would I laugh at that? It's all just interesting theories. It still remains a theory. You know, I don't think they're going to come here and kill us, because they would have killed us. They would have made charcoal out of us. They don't have to land on the surface. That would be a bit retarded, having them land on the surface. As a matter of fact, what's even more retarded is about the fact, okay, I'm not talking about people being retarded. I'm talking about a subject being retarded. Don't want to offend anyone. The fact that they're saying that a UFO was downed during a hurricane because of the winds is the dumbest thing I have ever heard any intelligent person say. Hurricane downed an extraterrestrial UFO. They dive into the oceans and they don't create a wake. They don't create a disturbance. Nothing on Earth can do that, guys. So it is alien to us. Whether it's extraterrestrial or not, we don't know yet. But it definitely is alien tech. But alien tech does not mean extraterrestrial. I believe extraterrestrials can exist, but that's it. I'm not going to go any further than that. One point, maybe they'll land here. They probably already are, like a lot of you obviously believe too. Feel sorry for the people who will be born like, oh yeah. Calacocolo. You're absolutely right about that one. Yeah, it's very sad. They're already going to be born knowing that there's, genders can be changed and they won't know the secrets of the past. So the same thing for us, guys. We're born. We know there's 2 genders. What if there were 10 before we were born? There's always that part before we were born. I am sure there's several genders here on Earth, but that nobody knows. Only the ones that are born extremely different. There could be some human that was born with completely different DNA but this still a male or female, seems to me, But anyways, I'm definitely not going to get into that. I don't give a shit about it, honestly. Gender badges now. People walking around with gender badges. Me, she, he, him. Seriously? My God, you know what? It's become a pleasure, a pleasant pleasure to make fun of them. I want to become a live stand-up comic just to make fun of them because it's fun. It's fun that they believe certain things and they're getting all hyped up. I'll tell you a few of you. The problem is that the blue dye is seeping into some of your brains. Some of you with the blue hair. Like the regular blue hair, I got nothing against, but the ones that have blue hair because they are leftists. Did they take the choice of the blue hair because the direct energy weapons can't attack anything blue? There's another hush-hush situation story, isn't it? Maui, the blue color, right? Did you hear about that one? Yeah. Scary stuff. Live in BC. No way our kids will be able to afford a house right now. Oh, yeah. And it's Silo Joe. Sorry about that. Silo Joe. Even worse where you are than where I am. Me out in the boonies. It's still possible, right? Well, you actually no, not anymore, but it used to be possible to get a house at 80,000 or 100,000 that was not abandoned, but left sort of to die, holes here and there, maybe wear and tear. It's still livable, right? But they don't have that anymore. Now the price is going to be skyrocketing. Look at in California and all those areas, Arizona. I know a lot of family people there that have families that said, we're going to help our kid buy a house. We're going to, one of them's even selling their big house because it's worth many millions of dollars for them to downsize and get smaller houses for 2 family members because it's just going to be too ridiculous to be able to buy a house, Stuck here. We're all stuck with rent. I am anyways, and that's how it is. What about the Congress reveal? Miniman 7, thank you very much for bringing that up. I am positive that that's going to bring a lot of new. I am happy. I am very happy that NASA did have the briefing. I'm happy that Nelson Mandela, what the hell's wrong with me? Bill Nelson, wow. Must have been thinking of me. I don't think so. But anyways, Bill Nelson, it seems like he was upset and that he wanted to talk about it, but he couldn't. And like a lot of you saw that, he just shut up and he's working for NASA. He's administrator. He's the first one that has to shut his mouth. Probably spoke out too many times by saying China was supposed to, wanting to take over the moon and all that. I'm telling you, I should be taking sips of my coffee once in a while. I couldn't wait to get on and talk to you all about, the bullshit, everything going on. It's just out of this world. Illegal immigrants are our replacements. Yep, they work cheap and non-confrontational. Absolutely, Robin. Until they take over, and in all immigrants, you'll get some terrorists as much as us. If Canadians start immigrating from Canada, you'll get terroristic Canadians leaving the country, going to other countries, causing shit in other countries. That's how it is. Nothing free about our country here, I'll tell you that. Right, Susan? Right on. Guys, we are streaming also at 8 o'clock this evening. Thank you so much, Darla Lama. We're streaming this evening to talk about what's in the news. Again, I'll be looking up what's in the news. Nothing about UFOs. They're hiding everything about UFOs. I'm filming UFOs on the moon, filmed UFOs on the moon. Everyone expects me to be filming it every day on the moon. I don't even see the moon once a month, more than once a month sometimes, A. Elias, bro, thank you so much, man. Always takes me a long time to thank you all. Bro, thank you so much. That really helps, man. Super live streams. Bruce, just like as usual, please don't forget your thumbs up for the channel, peoples. Elias, love you, man. Thank you very much. Merci vraiment bien gros, mon frère. That's not the first time that he becomes a member for several months. I'll tell you now, if ever I close the channel, I'm going to have to be sending videos to Elias for 3 more years, because I think it's basically that long that he has paid to be a member here. 3-4 years, if not 5 years. Pretty sure. Thank you very much, brother. It's just awesome. Now I clicked on the star. What did that do? Did it put it up somewhere? I clicked on a star. What happens when I click on a star? Maybe Elias's will stay on top now. I don't know. Thanks again, man. Buy a pressure cooker from a thrift store. I think I know what he's going to say. Buy a copper. Yep. You're going to desalinate tube, make a still with a campfire. You can make clean water to drink. Yep. Right in the beach. Right off the beach. Desalinating your own water. Ugly Woman Can. Thank you very much for being here. Earth is full of life, but moon is none? Exactly. That's the question. Not one speck of dust full of microscopic life has drifted to the moon. There you go. On top that they crashed with Beresheet living organisms that landed on the surface of the moon. And they said that those living organisms, those little ice bears, I call them, right? They can remain dormant for 30, 40 years in freezing absolute zero freezing weather. They develop a cyst, and it fills a bag with water, and they have their liquids there for the rest, like 30, 40 years, dormant, until all of a sudden they come to life. So yeah, those military gov people who would lie about what they had for lunch, it is what they do. You're right about that. Thank you, Ugly Woman Can, for being here. Bruce, I'm not able to hear or view all of the shows that you've been in. Sorry about that. The video either won't play, switches to someone's channel. I don't even know. Then I see, oops, something went wrong. Sherry, I really appreciate you letting me know that, because it's happening to thousands of people that are coming here. I know that when Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic, we can see thousands of people leaving me incredible comments on Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic's channel saying, wow, Jean-Claude, thank you for sharing this, work, Bruce's, research and stuff, and that only a handful of people will come over. It's almost impossible, and it's not about complaining. It's about the suppression of shadow banning people. NASA hearing was very pointless. Riley, right you are, brother. Yeah, well, I guess pointless. I don't know, guys. Like, I'm the one bitching about it all. I am happy that it happened because let's hold it against them if they don't leak everything out. They said that they're going to show everything, but they didn't say they're going to show shit from the past. They protected themselves by saying we're not going to bring up any old events when we're all waiting for the responses of those old events. They will have gotten away, the pieces of shite, with telling us exactly what happened in Roswell. But the problem is the truth is coming out from the inside. So, quite simply, the ones on the inside are going to leak out the truth to a regular YouTuber to expose for the world. And it's going to be out the same way. Guys, do you remember the last big leak in the States? I'm sure most of us don't, where it had information about Canada that could not come out because it would change the whole shit show. It didn't come out. That was a National Guard from the States that was talking while playing a game, a war game online that was leaking information out from the inside. Okay. That was leaked out. There's a whole bunch of people on PlayStation that were literally witnessing. We had 12-year-olds and 30, 40-year-olds. I think it's more adults that are playing the games now. I don't really think it's kids playing the games, right? You go online and you play a war game. It's not kids that are there. It's all adults that are pretending to be kids and hiding their faces. Real shit show. Hey, Dave, that's exactly what I do with them. That's exactly what I do. I would have a guitar to be able to play music as they are showing themselves coming, out of the spacecraft. Obviously, it's the most peaceful thing. It's not like they're going to shoot me because I have a guitar, unless they do think it's a gun. I don't know. Sitting there with a guitar like that, and you go to strum, and yeah, real silly, eh? Hang on here. Let me fix my bench. Let me fix my bench. I wonder if Tucker Carlson once in a while stops the show and fixes his bench with duct tape. I wonder if he does that once in a while. I'm pretty sure. He does. Now that I duct tape the bench upwards, when it goes down, I can't get it back up. I have to untape it. So I bought a fat bench. It's a bench for fat people. Doesn't work though. Bruce, you were maybe too fat. Shut up. Don't say that. Not seen them on TV, but have seen in our local stores. But sad and frustrating. It is all frustrating. Beyond frustrating, honestly, guys. How far did I scroll down here? Bobana's in the house. 2-year member anniversary in 3 days, and not my birthday, but thank you just the same. Well, happy anniversary. That's even better, Bobana, than a birthday. Good for you guys. Wow. Congratulations. We're all going to tell you happy birthday now. You know that. The Church of Satan of Washing, right, has 18K followers on Facebook. The one in Boston has almost 700K members. Any churches near you with those numbers? Well, you said a mouthful there, didn't you? Nope. None. Not even the Catholic Church. Big basilica, right? It's a mausoleum. Still only get about a couple hundreds of people in there, maximum, even at Easter, when you think of it. So yeah, there's more popularity for the Satanists. There's a lot more people that are not going to church that are for good, but just pray in privacy in their own home, which is actually recommended by God. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's the bench is traumatized now. It was holding all its weight up, and then I started losing weight. They're like, okay, we can let go now. We can let go. The springs are letting go. You can boing, boing. Finally, I'm scrolled all the way down to see what's coming in. 235. Now we'll see the real speed of the. Okay, that's what I thought. There are no messages coming in. Okay. It's good to know. Hey, literally stopped. Oh, yeah. 225. I'm at the last one. Good. Elias Valhatla. So now I'm ready. I'm at the bottom. So now I'll scroll back up because no one's writing. Yes. RetroArch. Right, you are. Right. Thank you for the leakers. Leak away. There will be leaks. That's the only thing we have to count on, I guess, my friend RetroArch. If not, yes, thank you. Well said. Jules, I will not either. Thank you very much because they're pushing the COVID on us again, guys. Ain't happening. Yes, Darkest Gooner, lurk away, my friend. We get lots of lurkers that come here, even member lurkers. And another thing, not everybody in the community wants to come on a live stream and, hey, how's it going? Oh, where you from? Oh, I'm from here. I'm from there. Right? Some people like listening in privacy, and I got the hiccup. Sorry about that. Yeah, listen, Sherry, you can fix everything with duct tape. Even I remember being in a fishing boat, my friend's boat, and I remember putting duct tape on the floor and sitting my big ass down on the tape when my friend Bob and I were able to get to the edge of the water, and my ass held the water from coming in with the duct. I think maybe more my ass than the duct tape, but no comment. Right on. Hey, Jason John Swartz in the house. How's it going, brother? Lurkers in the house. What a shit show. I was so disappointed when NASA started saying that the Mexican Congress were basically full of shit, I think. They're showing aliens, guys. Like Mexican Congress showed 2 aliens in a box. Okay. I would have preferred that, than Bill Nelson. Guys, where were the videos? There was no videos. We heard of a James from independent media who asked about the aliens that were in Mexico. And Bill Nelson said, well, you can't just show aliens. It's got to go through many hands. And people, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. I believe the Mexican Congress more than I believe my own government. Why? Because they're showing people aliens. If you think they're going to make money by showing people aliens or that they're going to profit from doing so, they won't. How can they? They're just admittingly letting people know that there's extraterrestrials out there. Do you think that they have bigger ones? Well, of course they have bigger ones. Why would NASA present them as mummies if the Mexican Congress said, these are not mummies, in brackets? Go see, I'm not lying. Go see it, the Mexican Congress in Mexico, where you can't even explain it. And it's written, these are not mummified remains. They are complete remains. There's even one that's pregnant. Why wouldn't the states want to see that? So get this. If the states, the government assholes, call them liars and they don't ask for a sample to analyze themselves, which they probably will and still say it's fake, I'm not going to budge. I want them to say, I want to see those aliens. The Americans should be going down, or you should see, I bet you Australia, Sky News will. You're going to see, they're going to interview the Mexican guy probably or something to talk about some of the truth, And why am I saying Australian Sky News? Because I don't know if you're like me, those are the places where I'm going to see freaking truth come out from these people. where they don't want to talk about anything or mention anything. But then in England, the English news and even Australian news, when people started talking against the Queen, oh, then they started turning around saying it's, like Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan, what's his deal? Turning around, defending the Queen all the time. Piers Morgan defending the Queen all the time. Another shithead, liar. That's how they are. Anyways, totally offended by them. Ice is not going to melt to have waters rise because of the buoyancy. Stupid, eh? There's going to be no rising floodwaters. If there's rising floodwaters, it could be because we're in an interglacial period. But then again, there's no talk of waters rising. What would cause waters rising? I'll tell you what. There's a comet that went by, Nishimura, right? Still going by. Anyways, it'll come back another 439 years, something like that. It made it rain, didn't it? Comets go by, it rains. Bennu was going by, it was raining. The other comet that I got, that everybody got with their regular cameras a couple of years back, I forget the name of it. Anyways, the comet that everybody saw in the sky, brand new comet that they said that, everyone was able to see. They're lying about everything, about the waters, the oceans, the temperatures and everything. It's bullshit lie. I looked into astrophysics. My mom's not going to believe me. She's going to say, who gives a shit? And regular physics and heliophysics. And you don't have to be a genius. When you start looking at a few things, you're going to be able to turn right around and tell your friends, waters don't rise because of the buoyancy of the ice. The ice is sitting on the surface or even over top of the water. Once it melts, it'll go back to the same volume. No waters rising. When have waters risen here on Earth? Well, easy. When God made it rise. But on the scientific point of view, if comets are going by, I'm going to throw a hell of a good scenario to make you understand. 3 comets are going by, but they're meeting themselves in an area face to face or crossing side by side. It's going to cost a lot of magnetism. Let's say 1,000 years ago, this happened during an alignment. More magnetism. It affects all the stars and planets when there's an alignment all throughout the galaxy, actually, right up into the Milky Way. And now I'm forgetting basically what I'm saying. So yeah, the comets go face to face during an alignment. It's the full moon. Got to add the full moon. And the levels of the water are going to rise at their most. You're going to get rain, right? So if there's 3 comets in a row going by and it's going to last 30, 40 days, it's going to rain for 40 days. It's going to completely engulf, not engulf, we're not talking about fire. It's going to completely drown out everything except for the high rise and mountains, and that way there would be more water. So when there was more water here on Earth, it wasn't because the ice melted. So that's telling us that the story about the ice melting and, the flooding and stuff back in the days is bullshit. Just by doing a little bit of research in astrophysicism, astrophysics, they know nothing. They know nothing except what I'm doing to you right now. Looking up in astrophysics, some of the laws, and I'm turning around telling you there can't be any waters rising because of that. But is it true what I read, or is it not true what I read? Must be, because they're saying the opposite. They're saying that there is water that's going to rise, right? Because when the water melts, when that big piece breaks off, it's going to flood the towns when it blocks the bridges. Yeah, because the water won't be able to go through the bridges anymore. It'll be going over the land. But it's not because the iceberg's freaking melting. Once that iceberg melts, you'll never see the waters rising. Just the volumes are going to just adjust. It less volume when it turns to water, and it expands. Now, when an ocean freezes over, what the hell is going to happen there? It's going to split Earth? Yeah. Are there sections of Earth that was split? Probably, because it froze over. Just did like grab an apple and stick it out in freezing weather. You're going to say it's not going to split, it's going to freeze, it's going to become hard as rock. It'll become hard as rock. Then at one point, it's going to become fragile and split and come apart and stuff. The Earth must have done the same thing when everything froze over. But it's bullshit to say that icebergs are going to melt and it's going to make the water rise because of buoyancy. I'm happy to have looked up buoyancy. Buoyancy. It's the ability to float in the air or liquid, right? Same thing in space. There's some buoyancy. How buoyant are we in space? That's what they don't talk about. When you do the analysis of that, you say literally impossible for ice to melt and rise water because the volume goes back to its regular volume. Again, that's why pipes explode. So stupid. It's so stupid. And you're looking up what they're talking about UFOs, and it's all bullshit again. NASA introduces new UFO research. What do you mean, new UFO research? All these things that they're saying, and we can't see it because it's blocked, of course. They want you to pay. NASA says more about UFOs, and you got to pay to get on. They didn't say anything about UFOs. They said fuck all about UFOs. New NASA report lays out large roadmap for studying UFOs in the coming years. And you're like, oh my God, I got to go listen to it. It must be amazing. Now, NASA should play a prominent role in the federal government's ongoing study of unidentified flying objects, aka UFOs. That's the advice from a panel of outside advisors that urged NASA to use its scientific expertise as well as its existing and planned instruments that observe space and the Earth to better gather data related to what's now often called UAPs. That's all that was talked about at the UFO briefing. And Bill Nelson repeated himself several times and said they don't know what the phenomena is. And they say it's not alien, but they don't know what it is, and sits there with a smirk and a smile. Looks like a total dipshit sitting there. He gave in. They all give in, and they have no choice to give in. If not, he'd lose his job. And at the age that he's at, I'm not saying because he's old. At the age he's at, he's obviously close to retirement. I would say when you become administrator of NASA, you're close to your retirement. The one administrator before that was organizing and allowing astronauts suggestions in where they would land for the next mission on the moon. They were supposed to land the Apollo 11 area or one of the old Apollo missions. And then shithead Biden and his administration, no brains, comes in and decides they're going to hire another administrator. Don't forget, every time a president in the state, that doesn't happen here in Canada when Trudeau changes or the prime minister changes. They keep the same people in charge in the other sections. Why, when Trump comes in president, they form a new associate guy, right? A new press conference lady or guy. They have a new administrator for NASA when Trump came in, and then when Bill came, and then when Biden came in, and all the other presidents. Obama too, the same thing, right? Obama, he really fucked it all up too after Bush, and the father Bush and the son fucked everything up too. A long time ago that Canada was, the States, States, Canada, same country for some anyways. That's for sure. Back in New Brunswick, we're always Nukes at heart. Yeah, Canucks at heart. Absolutely. Sherry, also New Brunswick. That is where Maine, Bay of Fundy and everything into Nova Scotia. No, is it? What am I saying? Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. Sorry, New Brunswick is going to get some wins. We're not from Lee. It's not going to be anything maybe huge, but they're still not sure if the people down there are going to get 79 miles an hour winds. It could be 39 miles an hour. It is going to break up because of the cold water, but that was really interesting to see Lee come all the way down to the coastline there. It's lined up right now with Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. It's on the coast. Saturday evening, it's going to be close to the coast. They say a little bit of rainfall, but not much. And then we'll see what happens. It's obviously going to break up as it, climbs over land. And apparently not even going to make it to Prince Edward Island either, as it's going to break up going over Bay of Fundy and everything, supposedly. Every time I hear politics or gov, I want to puck. Yeah, I hear you. I totally hear you. Yes, they are, Sherry. The Bushes, the Clintons, every one of them, one after the other. Tri Lambda Delta, thanks so much for being here. Right on. That was awesome. Hey, you guys can join my brother on the live stream after this stream. That's cool. How cool is that? We'll be finishing in a couple of minutes. Yeah, actually, head on over and take a look at my brother's channel. Why not? If you don't like the channel, don't say anything. Do the same thing as when you come here. You come to my channel and you want to lurk and not like it, just at least go over and lurk. Give him a view. He's an amazing guy, my brother. So you guys should get to know him. I want to get to know more about who my brother is. Go pry. Maybe you guys want to email him and ask him questions about me. That's becoming a trend. So go feel right ahead. Up. And I did it. There we go. I want to leave that there. Head on over to my brother's channel after the stream and give him a like and fill up his comment section with some comments. Be cool. Be nice. Feel bad for your guys with Kevin Turdo. Yeah, I'm telling you. Trudeau. What a butt muncher. The guy, literally. No comments. No comments. You guys, Jason, be ready. Get ready. Start aligning things up. You should maybe even start the stream up soon. People will be expecting you to come on. Hope it's an interesting topic. It always is. Five more likes for 200. Hey, we'll take it. Grit Ripper, thanks again for being here. All of you. I don't have the feed moving at all, actually. That's the first time I go to the bottom. Not much happening down here. That's why I stay on top. Yeah. Really quiet, eh? Kai just wrote something. Thank you. You mean Trudolph? Hey, Jason. 98,000 subscribers. We're 80 of us just watching, chilling, talking in live stream. So don't feel too bad, Jason. I do want to thank some of you. Some of you did, a lot of you actually, go over to my brother's channel, even subscribe to the channel, show up on some of the live streams. Listen, don't feel forced either. We make streams. When I make a stream that's not interesting to you, don't even bother giving it a like. Just like what you like, honestly. But when you go by and say hi, it encourages more people to get by. I'd like to see a couple of hundred people on my brother's channel at one point. I'll push my brother before pushing Peter Benton and all those other channels I used to push. Cindy Lou Who channels. Head on over to Cindy Lou Who, guys. She's an amazing astronomer. What a joke. But I had no regrets. It attracted a lot more people to contribute to the channel, to enjoy the channel. And yeah, we're going to finish that right here because it was a beautiful, sweet live stream where my amazing community came by. As always, I appreciate that. Heavy G says, how's it, Bruce? George from South Africa, thank you very much for coming in, my friend. Just getting off here. See you with Jason John Swartz live. I love how he explains stuff. Thank you very much. Very easy to understand. Exactly. And we never agree on everything. So, some people, I don't like that opinion, or I don't like that opinion. Or look, in reality, some of my trolls were actually trying to go over to Jason's channel because they didn't like anyone's opinion on anything. And that's good too, Jason, because you'll get more people over to the channel. And don't get me wrong, my brother is totally open for all debate. Absolutely. May God, the creator of creation, bless and keep us all. May the force be with you, as we always finish on a good note. Mr. Kai, thank you very much. He did, Casa Nostra. Peter Benton definitely had a crush on me. He first liked my music and then started dressing like me. It's sort of like maybe the way when I play the blues, it's like I love Stevie Ray Vaughan so much, but you don't see me putting on a cowboy hat and big rings to try to replicate the person that I like. But some people do that. Some people that are not very popular, like Peter Benton, they try to grab someone else's persona, and just go with it. Just saying, hey, I'm going to get myself a hat like Bruce and going to start saying the same things Bruce is saying and stuff. But he was sick, unfortunately. And for those that don't know it, well, it's a troll that was here. He's still talking about me on his streams anyways, I'm pretty sure, who came by here, who tried to infiltrate the channel by becoming a member, leaving a couple of donations of 10, 20 bucks, and but letting people know. So I used to push those channels out, eh? Remember, mods? I used to push those channels out. Head on over to Jason John Swartz's channel and give him some love. Why not? And maybe you'll be interested in some of the videos that he's going to be posting or talking about. If you're not interested in the subject, or if you disagree with the subject, let him know in the comment section. He loves debating, and he wants some people to come on screen with him, by the way. So if you are a researcher and have a certain opinion, he was doing it the other day with somebebody from here, Kurt. Jan Luca was also there from my French channel. My brother's bilingual. If you're English or French and you want to join the channel on screen to give your honest opinion, guys, come and join us on my brother's channel on Mondays. Take a look every Monday, okay? Because we talk about fasting, about dieting. We have Pat that went there, who's lost over 40 pounds. There's some other people here that from my channel that went over to Jason's channel to talk about losing weight. Don't be shy if you're overweight. You don't have to come on screen. You just maybe want to talk about it in the comment section. Some good tips and tricks. I'm telling all you fat people out there, you can eat your bacon and no, not the cake. You can eat your bacon and put a candle on that. In other words, you can eat what a lot of people tell you are fattening, and it's not necessarily bad fat. We need fat in our body, right, to be able to relieve certain other toxins. The fat, regular butter, take a biteful or a spoonful, stick it in your coffee. Those are all things that people say the fat people are going to want to know, because they're going to say, really? I love the butter coffees. I mean, I do that all day long. And when you do it, that butter in your coffee, you don't want to eat. You're not hungry. So there are tricks to fasting and everything that Jason has a lot of experience on with the fasting, nutrition and all that. He's been studying that for years on the channel. But aside from that, he's doing also what the system is doing, attacking us. A couple of his last live streams were very interesting. He gives his Christian perspective on what he thinks. If you're not into religion, skip over those videos. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube. There's playlists and there's different sections and topics that people can go to when they're interested in, right? It's like when I go into a Walmart. Do you get mad if you see something there that you're not going to buy? No, it's for other people to buy, so let other people go and buy it. Right on, everybody. Thanks, mods, and everyone here, the generous contributions, and that's by coming by the channel. It's definitely an amazing contribution. Elias, thank you very much. Thanks, mods. Head on over to Jason John Swartz, and I'll see some of you there. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, everyone.